My name is Nick Welninski. I am a project engineer here at Teledyne Storm Microwave, and today we're going to be going over our multi-channel solutions offering with you. One of the main reasons that we wanted to give this presentation is just to make everyone aware of our expanding multi-channel solutions. We have noticed that historically the RF market has typically favored single channel solutions, but as systems are expected to have greater capabilities, we're seeing a greater need for high density, high frequency RF solutions. Two resources that are going to be released very soon. We are working on a miniature multi-channel solutions catalog that will be available on our website, and that is going to cover most of the material that we're going to go over in the presentation today. And then we're also working on a complete rebuild of our website just to make it more user-friendly and kind of bring it into the new age. The first product family that we're going to go over today is our Multimate family. This is going to be a board-to-device interconnect solution. And one of the nice things about this harness solution is that it does not require bullets, which is something that we see very commonly in other solutions from other manufacturers. This family is going to include the Mini Multimate, which is going to be our base high-performance multi-channel solution. This would be perfect for like a mil-aero type application. Then we have the Weathermate, which is going to be very similar to the Mini Multimate, with the exception that this harness is going to be very splash resistant, capable of periodic submersion. And then we also have our Spacemate, which is going to be a product that is going to go through a space manufacturing process that is going to make this perfect for a LEO space application. We're also going to be covering our Vita 67 family of products, and this is going to be harness solutions that are designed for a backplane to daughter card interconnect. This includes the Vita 67.1, 67.2, and 67.3 specifications. And later on in the presentation, I'll kind of break down what each of those three encompasses. An additional product that's currently in development here at Teledyne Storm Microwave is our Mucho-Mate. This is going to be kind of a blend between the Mini Multimate and the Vita 67 products. It's going to allow you to make up to 32 connections with a single block, and this can be either a panel mount or a bracket mount. This is going to incorporate either the standard SMPM or SMPS connector interfaces. And if you look down the bottom left corner, you can see that with our SMPM block, this is going to allow you to make 32 connections in a block that's 2.5 inches by 1 inch. And if you step down to the smaller SMPS block, you can make those 32 connections in a 1.75 by 0.77 inch block. Some additional information on the Multimate family of products. This is going to be a compact, rugged, high-density coax solution, and Teledyne Storm Microwave is going to provide the complete solution for you. We are going to provide the board mount connectors as well as the harnesses, so you can have confidence that everything from your board outside of your device is going to be coming from one place. These are available in both edge launch and vertical launch boards, and they're going to have operating frequencies up to 50 gigahertz. All of these are going to utilize the standard SMPM interface, which it's always nice to have a open specification that you can look back to. So while the connector blocks themselves might not be defined by an open specification, you do know that the contact interfaces are completely controlled. For the Mini Multimate, there's going to be both cabled harnesses as well as the board mount connectors. For the cabled harnesses, we have panel mount harness as well as a plug. And then for the board mount connectors, we have a vertical and edge launch solution available, shown in the picture on the top right corner. All of these are going to be available in 4 and 8 position connectors standard. But if there is a specific application that requires, say, 5 channels or 10 channels, we can do custom configurations for these. An expansion into our mini multi-mate product was the Weathermate. This is going to have the same mechanical, environmental, and electrical performance as the mini multi-mate, except now this product is going to be IP67 rated, which means that it's going to be capable of withstanding submersion up to 1 meter deep for 30 minutes. So if you have an application that there's a high likelihood of splashing or periodic submersion, this is going to be perfect for that. The blocks on this, in this solution, are going to be slightly larger than the mini multi-mate, but it still does maintain the same pitch between your channels, which is going to be 0.185 inches. An additional expansion on our multi-mate family is the Spacemate, and this is going to be a solution that's optimized for a LEO space application. This harness is going to go through our space manufacturing process here at Teledyne Storm, and that's going to make it so that this harness can withstand thermal shock and meet outgassing requirements. These are going to be available in all of the same configurations as the mini multi-mate, so you can get both the 4 and 8 position plug-in panel mount, as well as the edge and vertical launch PCB connectors. This is just kind of an overview of what the multi-mate family looks like. If anyone has any questions specifically on the multi-mate before I jump into the Vita products, feel free to unmute yourself and we can cover those now.
Yes, James here. I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are any additional pieces of hardware needed to get the weather-tight seal through a bulkhead? I mean, it looks like your pictures here, they connect together, but what happens when you put something in between that, like a panel mount or a bulkhead?
So the hardware is going to be provided, those captive screws that are in the plug. There's going to be gasketing on the panel mount, and then the plug side is potted. So all the hardware that you're going to need to make that watertight seal is going to be provided.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'm going to move on. So the next family of products that we're going to cover is our Vita 67 harness solutions. The Vita 67 is a open standard, and it's comprised of 4 parts currently. The Vita 67.0 specification defines the base, standards, and terms, requirements, qualification, and interminability. And then there are 3 sub-specifications that define the mechanical characteristics for the individual blocks themselves. You can see on the right here, this is kind of an overview picture of what some Vita hardware would look like. The Vita products are going to be capable of withstanding a minimum of 500 mates. And one of the nice things about these is, since they are defined by this Vita 67 specification, they are going to be interchangeable between other manufacturers. One thing I would like to clarify on that is harnesses between multiple manufacturers will be intermatable, but if you are going to be working with components from different manufacturers, you want to stick with contacts and blocks for each individual side that are from the same manufacturer, only because certain manufacturers have different methods for positioning the contacts in those blocks. The Vita 67 specification defines the upper operating frequency as 26.5 gigahertz, but Teledyne Storm's solution is going to allow good operation up through 40 gigahertz, while also providing a channel-to-channel isolation of 100 dB through 26.5 gig. So while you do have this compact solution, you can also be very confident that you're not going to have any crosstalk going on between your channels in a single block. Our Vita family is going to be broken onto 4 categories. We have the Vita 67.1, which defines our 4-position connectors. the Vita 67.2, which defines the 8-position connectors. And then Vita 67.3 is broken into 2 subcategories. We have a category which allows for custom configurations, and then we have a Nano Line, which is going to be an ultra-compact solution. So the Vita specification defines standard block sizes, and then it also defines the number of ports that are going to be in each connector block. So for the Vita 67.1, this is going to be a 4-position block. These are going to have spring-loaded contacts on a plug-in module, and then you're going to have a couple options for a backplane module. You can either have a direct attach, where your cables populate directly into the block that is mounted to a backplane, or you can have a backplane plug-in adapter, which is going to act as a connector saver just in the event that one of your plug-in modules doesn't go in properly. That way you're not damaging your cable assemblies. Here you can see a picture kind of showing how a Vita 67.1 solution would come together. This is showing one that is using the plug-in adapter. So you have your cable assemblies populating into that plug-in adapter on the back plane. And then if you have your daughter card coming in, you have your cable assemblies directly populating into that block. For reference, these blocks are going to be about a 1/2 inch by 3/4 of an inch. So you are getting those 4 connections in a very small package. Moving on to the Vita 67.2. This is going to be very similar to the Vita 67.1, with the exception that it is an 8-position solution. You still have the option to either use a direct attach module or a plug-in adapter for your backplane, and you're still going to have your spring-loaded contacts on the plug-in module. Similar to the Vita 67.1, here's a picture showing how a Vita 67.2 solution would go together. For reference, these blocks are going to be 1.1 inches by 0.75 inches. So it is slightly larger than the 67.1 blocks, but you do get twice as many connections. Both the Vita 67.1 and .2 products are on our website, and we have a complete catalog that can allow you to generate part numbers and provide all of the mechanical and electrical performance specifications for these products. Moving on to the Vita 67.3. The Vita 67.3 is a little bit different than .1 and .2 because it allows manufacturers to define alternate interfaces as well as alternate contact layouts. So while this does allow you to maximize the number of connections that you can get in each port, it does now mean that you don't have a standard port location. So blocks between different manufacturers are not going to be compatible with each other. Similar to the .1 and .2, you still have the option for a direct attach module or a plug-in module, adapter module, but these are going to be on the daughter cards rather than your backplane. Here we can see that we do have the plug-in module adapter on the daughter card, and this is showing a 10-position Vita 67.3 harness solution. The final component of our Vita family of products is the Nano Line, whereas the rest of the Vita products use a SMPM interface. These are going to utilize an SMPS connector interface, and this is going to allow you to make significantly more connections in a similar size block. For this specifically, we can get up to 18 connections in a full-sized Vita block. Now, since the contacts are much smaller, we only offer this in our Stormflex O47, whereas with the other products, you can choose between Stormflex O86 and O47. One thing that I do want to make you guys aware of is that since we are using standard O47 and O86 cable sizes, we have no issue building cable assemblies with someone else's contacts if you've already incorporated them in part of your system. And also, we do not need to provide the complete harness solution. Some people prefer to procure the blocks on their own and then just have us provide the individual cable assemblies. And that's something that we're happy to do. For size comparison between the Nano and the standard SMPM contacts, the Vita 67.1 and .2 SMPM contacts are going to have an overall diameter of almost 200 thousandths of an inch. And then the Nano contacts are going to have an overall diameter of about 100 thousandths of an inch. So you do get a significant size reduction going down to the Nano, but you do have to then use the Stormflex O47 cable, which there will be some insertion loss implications associated with that. So all of the products that I've talked about so far utilize our Stormflex cable, either the Stormflex O47 or the Stormflex O86. The main highlight with this cable is its durability. It's going to be a tough cable. It's going to be very flexible. You can make tight bends directly behind your connectors, and you do not have to worry about damaging the cable, having your connectors pulling off. It's just going to be a very, very reliable cable. Sorry, I'm going to step back one thing. One other highlight about the Stormflex O47 and O86 products is that since they are that standard size, we have the ability to use anyone's connectors that are designed for a O47 or O86 size cable. So if there are connectors that you would like to use that were designed, say, for a O86 semi-rigid, we can provide a flexible solution that's going to give you the superior performance of the Stormflex cable while still allowing you to use the other manufacturer's connectors that you desire. Some new additions to the Stormflex line of cables are our O34 cable and our O47 EW cable. The O34 is going to have the same superior mechanical benefits as the other Stormflex products in an even smaller package. And this is going to be lightweight and extremely flexible, making it easy to route without worrying about damaging it. And then the Stormflex O47 EW cable is going to be an O47 size cable that is capable of operating up to 110 gigahertz. This is going to be a very durable cable, providing consistent, repeatable electrical performance, even with flexure. In addition to the Stormflex products, if you need phase versus temp stability, any harness that could be built with the Stormflex O86 cable can also be built with our PhaseMaster O96. This is going to be a cable that's going to provide you significantly better phase versus temp stability. So if that's something that is critical for your application, we do have an alternate cable that can meet your needs. Outside of all of the more miniature sized harnesses that we talked about so far, we do have a dedicated staff for multi-channel solutions. So if you wanted to use, say, a standard 38999 or create a completely custom configuration for a harness, we do have the staff available to work with you on that. One specific example of an oddball harness that we made is shown in the bottom left corner. We manufacture the cable assemblies for those, and then we send them out to a sub-tier supplier, and they install them in this overmold, and then it's shipped back to us, and we perform all of the final inspection and electrical testing before final delivery to the customer. And that concludes the presentation. Does anyone have any questions now that we've kind of gone through all the material?
Well, I'd like to just kind of point out to people that are still on that these Vita 67 parts, we're seeing more and more of them designed in. And one of the things that we can help you with, and one of the things that we want to alert you to is, particularly on the Vita 67.3 parts, it can be a little bit tricky to understand the nuances of intermating between different manufacturers. And I think we're in a kind of unique position to help guide people through that. So wanted to make everybody aware that we have that capability. And if you find yourself confronted with a Vita 67 application and looks a little confusing, feel free to give us a call.
Yep. And for anyone who may have joined a little late and missed any part of the beginnings of parts of the presentation, Megahertz Marketing website will actually have this available in a few days to view. So I'll give it another 30 seconds. If anyone has a question, please feel free to unmute yourself.
I think we had a question come in on the chat.
Okay.
About the circular inserts. And the answer to that is the circular inserts, it would depend on the size of the contact that would dictate the frequency. Typically, a large contact, like size 8 contact, is going to not get you much past 20 gigahertz. A size 12 contact, which is generally based on the GPPO interface, that can get you to 40 gigahertz when selected with care and looked at it the whole application. There are also size 16 that can certainly get up to 40 gigahertz. And there's a size 20, which is quite small, but under the right circumstances, it also could get that high in frequency. So the smaller size contacts in the circular connectors, the 38999s, when everything is selected correctly, those can operate successfully up to 40 gigahertz.
Okay, any other questions? Obviously, your local megahertz representative is available if you do have questions as you go through your day. So please reach out to us, and we're more than happy to help. Hey, Rob and Nick, excellent job. I appreciate you doing this for us today, and thanks again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Rob.